My thoughts, my opinion. Sports podcast.
Yo, what it is? Welcome back to my MTMO Sports Podcast. Dang, I ain't did this in a while. I almost forgot how to do my introduction. You feel me? But welcome back to MTMO Sports Podcast, Doug. Yo, this is going to be a dope episode. You feel me? Because this is my 133rd thought. You feel me? And dang, like I said, Joe, it's been a little minute. I've been kicking it, but to all everybody out here, man, if you're not already, please like, share, subscribe as I'm trying to grow to my YouTube channel till I get to my goal to 1,000 subscribers, man. So if you know somebody that really want to be somebody, tell them that it's a real dope sports podcast that's out right now called MTMO Sports Podcast. My thoughts, my opinion, yo. Put them on, let them know that this guy is really out here speaking his facts and his opinions, you feel me? So like I said, man, I got a pretty dope show lined up for y'all, man. I'm going to talk about the Broncos and the Saints recap of the Thursday night game. Going to talk about some coaches out there that's on a hot seat, but I got this one particular coach who I feel like is really on a hot seat. I'm going to give y'all the rest of the Week 7 picks and my top 2 games. And I'm going to be talking about the WNBA Finals and Kawhi Leonard, you feel me? And because the Kawhi Leonard is, as y'all already know, is injury prone, and he's already starting the season off wrong. And this guy I can't wait to talk about that later on in the segment, you feel me? But right now, man, let's rewind it. Let's jump all the way back up here, man. Like I said, man, it's been a minute since I've been sitting in this chair, and I got a lot of things going on. Like, number one, my sons has been playing football, man. Shout out to the East Howard Jags for allowing my sons to participate in this year, man. It's been a real dope season. I've seen a lot of progression in my sons. I see that my sons have really took on the challenge of this team and really has been putting some big numbers out there. We haven't scored yet, but my guys has been really putting out work, and I'm so proud of my guys. And as my guys has been growing into their football league, man, I had also became an assistant coach. Now you can call me Coach Dev, you feel me? And I am an assistant coach. I am a defensive coordinator, and I am so pumped that I'm actually doing this, man. I've been kind of keeping this secret on a little hush a little bit. Only a certain amount of people really knew I became not a head coach, but I became a coach. And as everybody know, man, coaching has been one of my passions for a while. I actually put it to the back seat because I wanted to make sure that my sons get all the attention from me that I can possibly give them. You feel me? And I didn't want to step on their toes and step on their shine. But I had learned that my sons has really matured to the guys that I really love them to be. You feel me? Because they allow me to let my passion grow with their passion for real. And it's been dope. You know what I mean? It's been kind of hard a little bit trying to balance between, the sons and coaching, but it's been pretty dope. And I think I handle it very well. I wish I would have able to come on early in the season to actually really help this team. But and overall, man, this team has grown on to me, and these guys has really really liked the layout that I really came and the energy that I came with this coaching. So pretty dope. I'm having fun. We got a game tomorrow, early as hell, but I can't wait to be out there coaching. That's another reason why I haven't been on really, because man, coaching takes a really lot of strain and yelling and all that stuff, man. And I had lost my voice for a couple of days, and I didn't want to come on here and start sounding like Doc Rivers, you feel me? But no, for real though, man, coaching has been really dope. So that's where I've been at for the last 2 weeks. Also, I had to come back on here on October. It's a very very hard times for me, man. As a lot of people would know that, I lost my mom in the beginning of October. So, October has been really, a struggle for me in the beginning in that sense. But at the same time, man, I'm back. I'm happy. And I'm also going to say, man, to all the breast cancer survivors, I haven't forgot about y'all. Y'all know I was going to give y'all shout out, man. And keep going strong, man. So everybody's go out here and rock your pink, man. Support the breast cancer awareness. Support all cancer awareness regardless. But right now it's October, so make sure y'all go out here and support, wear y'all pink. That's why on my thumbnail, it's pink for the breast cancer month. But got all the rambling, the promoting out the way now. Let's talk some football, you feel me? And like I said, Thursday night was a night, you feel me? And if you missed this game, I'm pretty sure a lot of people was like, I'm not really interested in this game. I'm not going to really pay attention. But honestly, it was a learning curve for this game. You know what I mean? And last night, it was the Broncos versus the Saints, and the Broncos had demolished the Saints 33-10. And then, like I said, when I said demolished, man, I mean the Broncos came stampede through the marching band of the Saints. You feel me? And the Saints really was not marching on last night. And you can really contribute to the defense of the Broncos, man, because the defense of the Broncos was all over the Saints quarterback, man. And they showed that this rookie, man, it's not college football. You feel me? It's most definitely growing, man, and you have to make your decisions quick, and you got to be precise, and you got to be on time. And we clearly see that last night, man. If y'all watching that game, that's not how it was for this guy. This kid was rattled by the Broncos defense to the point that he went 25 from 35. He had 172 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked 6 times. He had a QBR as 55.5, and his rating was at 82.1. And it got to the point that they actually pulled the kid out. You know what I mean? And the next guy, Jake Hansen, went 3 and 4, 38 yards, 1 touchdown, the only touchdown for the Saints in that game. And you can clearly see that, in my eyes, there's a problem with the Saints. And I know everybody's probably going to say, well, the Broncos is a pretty decent team, but no. I think there's really something wrong with the Saints, man, because number one, they all their stars is injured. All their big stars. And these guys started off 2-0. They on a 5-game losing streak now. 5. And during those 2 weeks when they went undefeated in the first 2 weeks, the Saints was one of the teams that had one of the most points per game. They threw up the most points. And now the Saints is having a hard time putting up points. And I understand it's the injury aspect of this game, of this team. But at the same time, I just think that this team is tanking. This team is done. This team is waving the white flag. I don't see the Saints coming back for the rest of the season. And I think that the Saints going to start offloading a lot of these players. They already got Chase Young on the trading block, maybe. There's a lot of rumors about him being on the trade block. And you still got some decent players on that team, but they can't seem to get it right. You know what I mean? They got a Cameron Jordan. They got the Honey Badger. Like I said, they got a Chase Young. They got a Alvin Kamara. They got Chris Olave. They got a Derek Carr. But for some strange reason, Derek Carr and Olave is out, but they still got like a lot of stars. They still got Jamal Williams. They got now their wide receivers is booty. Don't get me wrong. Without Chris Olave, man, that wide receiver room is just, not good at all. It's trash. Let's keep it a buck. But this team doesn't have no identity no more. This team doesn't look organized, doesn't look right. And if it comes to looking like that, that means it's coaching now. It's not just the players. It's also coaching. And I don't think Dennis Allen is doing a good job coaching. And I think the Saints I think that's one of the coaches that's on the hot seat, in my opinion. But that's not the coach I'm going to talk about today. But for real, though, I really just think that Dennis Allen is on the hot seat. I think that the Saints, after this year, him and Dennis Allen, the Saints and Dennis Allen is going to part ways. I can't foresee this team going any longer with this head coach. And they've been having coaching issues ever since Sean Payton wanted to ditch them during mid of the season. So I really just think that the Saints really got a problem. The Saints really just need to go ahead and try to figure out before the season over if they want to figure it out. You know what I mean? I think cap space is not really an issue with these guys to bring talent down there, but I think the only way you can bring talent down there, you're going to have to bring some type of good scheme. And I think that's what the Saints lack at. It's not a good scheme, no team identity. You don't know what type of team that you would get from every Sunday or every Thursday. So I just think that that's the Saints' problem. But for the Broncos are pretty good. They're looking pretty decent in these first 7 games. They are 4-3 now. Bo Nix really showed us that he's a rookie. He's going to make some mistakes, but at times Bo is really a good starting piece where the Broncos want to be at when as far as quarterback. Because Bo Nix' problem last night in my eyes was he couldn't get his feet together. He had happy feet when he at certain times because he had overthrow or underthrow receivers yesterday, and it was all because he couldn't get his feet together. Now, he did go 16 for 26, 164 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, mainly because the defense and the running game scored the touchdowns. But Bo Nix is really showing that he can really manage a game. You know what I mean? You put a good game plan out in front of him, and if you got good defensive play, Bo Nix can be successful in this league. Now, winning his 4th game of the year, I really just think that the Broncos really got something for next year. Because now I'm really just foreseeing that the Broncos have a good year the rest of the year, because I still think that they are the 3rd team in the AFC West. I still think the Chargers are over top of them. Of course, that the Chiefs are over top of them. And I don't think that the Broncos have the right team to catch these 2 teams over top of them. Now, they are going to win some games. Now, and then I believe that towards the end of the season, that the Broncos can be a scary team again, like how they was last year, that could end some playoff dreams or change some playoff seedings. So, I that's why I see the Broncos at, I'm not really a big Coach Peyton fan or anything in that nature. I still believe that sometimes he can cause a bad game. But that's with any head coach. But I think the Broncos really got something, the starting point, like I said, as far as their quarterback play. Now that this guy really focus on putting some stars around him. You put some stars around Bo Nix, man. Bo Nix maybe can win you some games and maybe take it to the playoffs next year. But as of right now, unless they make some moves over the trade deadline, I do not see the Broncos really making any much noise. But like I said, they can be a team that can really be scary and also change some things when it comes to the playoffs and playoff seedings. So that was my recap of the Thursday night game, man. Now, let's talk about coaches that's sitting on the hot seat, because there are a couple coaches I believe that should be on the hot seat, and I've seen that on Instagram. I forgot which who posted, but there is some more coaches that you wouldn't believe that belong on the hot seat. You got one of them that made me start questioning, and maybe should be a little thought. And one of them, the coaches, was Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin was one of the coaches that maybe start questioning, like, hey, maybe should he be on the hot seat? But then people were like, well, he always had winning seasons. But then the question is, when did them win? What did those winning seasons have? You have a head coach that, got one Super Bowl under his belt, and a lot of people claim that he only got that Super Bowl win because it was a team passed down from Bill Cowher. But to defend that, you got to be the right guy to be the right fit to coach these guys to get them to the Super Bowl. So that's how I look at it. Then, it's a lot of back and forth. Then you got Doug Peterson for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is he should be on the hot seat? I think that, yes, he should be on the hot seat, but at the same time, I think they need to do a quarterback switch. And I really just don't think that Trevor Lawrence is the guy. But another story, another time. The Cincinnati Bengals head coach. is also on the hot seat because now with he's starting off at 1-5 with the Bengals, and it really don't look like the Bengals really going to turn this season around as of right now. So he was one of the coaches who was on the hot seat. But this one particular coach that I want to talk about, how I feel like that, even though he has successful wins and successful good statistics, he's really on the hot seat. And I believe that something is going to change eventually. And that coach is Nick Sirianni. I really think that he is on the hot seat. And I think that even if Philadelphia have a winning season, I still see there's a possibility that Nick Sirianni gets fired. I really do. Now, don't get me wrong. This guy, he got some good wins. He's 37-19 in the regular season. But when it comes to the postseason, he's 2-3. And he only had one good run in the postseason, and that was the Super Bowl run when they came up short against the Kansas City Chiefs. So, and then these guys are really sitting right now at 3-2, which they are number 2 in the NFC East. And my opinion, I picked them to win the NFC East. I did not believe that the Commanders was really going to take control of this division right now. But, good quarterback play for the Washington Commanders. But as far as right now for the Philadelphia Eagles, man, Jalen Hurts is a decent quarterback. At one point in time, we thought Jalen Hurts was the second best quarterback in the league when he took the Philadelphia Eagles to the Super Bowl. But then, he had some injuries. Then we started like, well, he had an injury, but then he just didn't look right last year, even when he was somewhat healthy. And I had to really dig deep, like maybe it's not Jalen Hurts. It's the coaching. And as people would know me, I always say that a good head coach or a great head coach is only as good as his assistants. And if his assistants is good at their jobs, that the head coach and all he got to do is just manage the game and timeouts and stuff like that, that's what makes a great head coach. And I told people when Nick Sirianni lost his offense and defensive coordinator on the same year that after they lost their Super Bowl to the Chiefs, I said, y'all got to watch out, man. You only as good as your assistant coaches. And Nick Sirianni has been struggling ever since he lost those offensive defensive coordinators. Hasn't looked too good. Having people really question, having the Philly fan base really question like, yo, is he the right guy? And even when the Philadelphia fans expressed their concerns about it, what did this guy do? Be an asshole, being a jerk, and go ahead and yell back at the fans and about some other stuff. Like, dog, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be putting a good product where these fans doesn't have to boo you or talk or criticize how you coaching. You shouldn't be mad in your feelings. That's part of the game. That's just like when you tell the players, look, certain things that the fans is going to say, but you shouldn't chirp back. Don't chirp back anything or get yourself fined. But you the leader of this team, and you are chirping back to the damn fans. Like, yo, do your damn job. And I think that's why, and that right there, when your head coach can no longer keep his cool to fans and stuff like that, in a hostile environment, he's no longer in control of his team anymore. And I think that this is where Philadelphia is really starting to see now. A lot of Philly fans is really complaining about this guy. You want to know why, yo? Just because of the antics and stupid stuff like that. Like, dog, that is not what you're supposed to be doing, yo. So, you know what I mean? And to say all that, this is why I really just think that right there showed you who this guy can potentially really be. You know what I mean? I understand, like, yes, head coaches are human beings and they got to express their emotions, but I'm pretty sure head coaches, because I'm an assistant coach, and I tell my players all the time, don't worry about the crowd. The crowd is the people that's getting you hype and stuff like that, or that's the crowd is gonna be booing you, or because you're on the opposite team, or you're not putting good product out here. So you just gotta play, and that's how I feel about the Eagles. No, so like I said, they are 3-2, but I'm pretty sure that everybody's expecting the Eagles to take that next step now to be a contenders each year, not just that 1 year. You're like, dog, you are 2-3 in the postseason, and now don't get me wrong, you made the playoffs your first 3 years, and you're the first coach in Philadelphia history to do that. But I still think that after all this, and if you still have a good season, I still think that you will be on the hot seat, and I still think that it's a possibility that you might be gone, especially if you can't win this division, and especially if you're like a first-round exit. Man, I can tell you right now that this guy is probably going to be the one of the head coaches that can be gone with a winning record. Like, I really just do believe so, you feel me? So, hopefully that the Eagles can change him, or hopefully he can change himself and really put his foot down as an Eagles fan. As the Eagles head coach, and put good product out here, and and not just be all about the tush push. That's like the only highlight. Like, you got 2 dynamic receivers, you got some playmakers, you got running back this year now that can really be explosive and be a highlight, and their defense is pretty decent. So I just really just think that Nick Sirianni really just need to get himself together, put better product out there, and hopefully that will change things around for him. You feel me? So like I said, I just really just think that this guy is probably on the hot seat and deserving to be on the hot seat. Now that I talk about him, Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles, let's go ahead and talk about the rest of Week 7 that is coming up. You feel me? And it's some good games. There's some good games coming up in Week 7, and it was hard for me to go ahead and pick my top 2 games this week. And my top 2 games this week is going to be coming out of 3 of them is NFC teams, and 1 of them is the AFC team. And the first teams I want to talk about, the first game I want to talk about, is coming from the NFC North, and it's going to be the undefeated Vikings. Yes, I said it. The undefeated Vikings, that's 5-0, versus the Detroit Lions, who is 4-1. And I believe that this is going to be a bang out game, and I think that everybody should probably pay attention if you if your team is not playing, because that's one of the games I'm most definitely going to be watching, at 1 o'clock game, since my guys is not playing until Monday night. It's the Lions and the Vikings. It's Sam Darnold versus Jared Goff. Remember, these two was in the same draft together. And once upon a time, it was remember, Sam Darnold was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. But now Sam Darnold was once upon a time mentioned maybe in the MVP conversation. I'm pretty sure he ain't in that conversation right now, unless he can pull out still undefeated this week. But Sam Darnold has been really balling out this year. And I did a piece on him, a little clip on the Vikings. And also that the Minnesota Vikings defense, it's a scary ass defense. They are like top 2 and a lot of in their statistic categories. So that's most definitely going to have give out a good game. But then you got the Detroit Lions, who's explosive, who's Jared Goff has shown his growth since he had really took over this team, and since Dan Campbell had put an identity to this team. The Detroit Lions can hit you with the running game with Gibbs and Montgomery, who just signed the contract extension, or they can hit you in the passing game with what's my guy name? Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I forgot that tight end name, man. I just studied his name earlier. But that tight end is also pretty decent too. And like I said, the Detroit Lions defense, it's not that bad. They ain't as scary as the Minnesota Vikings defense, but the Detroit Lions is really a decent defense. You feel me? And I really just think that this game will not be a shootout like everybody think it is or think it will be. I really just think that that this game is going to be coming down to who makes the first mistake or who makes the last mistake, or it might even actually come down to a field goal, because I really just don't really see that this game will be high points right now. That they saying that this total is probably going to be about 50.5 points. About 25 points apiece. I can kind of see that. Maybe I can see that. And right now, Minnesota is winning the spread at 1.5. And I just really just think that Minnesota will lose their first game on this Sunday, man. I think Detroit Lions will give them that first L. And I just really just think that the Vikings will drop down off their high horse just a little bit. And, come back to reality and have everybody stop thinking that this is a Super Bowl bound team. But the Detroit Lions is one of the Super Bowl contenders, as everybody think they are, coming out the NFC North. I really just think that the Detroit Lions can really knock these guys down and give them that first L. So I just think that, like I said, tune into this game. It's going to be a real dope one. Another game is going to come down to another undefeated team, as we already know who the second undefeated team. But it is just the Super Bowl rematch, man. We got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. And of course, we all know that the Chiefs are 5-0, who I really just think they should have took the first L in the week 1, but we ain't gonna go there. But right now they are 5-0, and they've been playing some quality, good quality football. And a lot of people are still voting Patrick Mahomes to be MVP, and I really just don't understand why Patrick Mahomes would be an MVP candidate right now. I understand that who he is and what he has done in the past, but right now, man, his stats is not all that. Right now he's thrown 6 touchdowns, but he also throws 6 interceptions. His QBR is 57. Now he has over 1,200 yards. But the Kansas City Chiefs is only really winning because of their defense. Their defense has really been able to change a lot of possessions on opponent teams. And like I said, the Chiefs ain't really been too explosive like they're accustomed to be. Now, granted, they don't have Hollywood Brown. Edwards is still out. Pacheco is still out. And right now, Travis Kelce hasn't been Travis Kelce due to he get a lot of attention. There's nothing wrong with that. He do get a lot of attention, which he deserves. But also, nobody else has really stepped up to really showing that the Chiefs will be they keep on being undefeated. But on the flip side, you're going against a beat up San Francisco 49ers team, a team that doesn't have CMC. He's still out. A team that has their second running back who's potentially can also be out. And then, Debo is finally coming back. He's scoring touchdowns and everything. And Brandon Ayuk has been, it hasn't really turned it on the way we thought he would since he got that new contract extension. And George Kittle has been kind of balling out. And, he balled out last week. But the question now is, even that the San Francisco 49ers are beat up right now, can they match up with the Kansas City Chiefs? And I really just think that this is going to be another test for Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy really going to have to really show his ass this game. He's really going to have to show that he can be and play against the elite quarterbacks. And I think that if Brock Purdy can really beat Patrick Mahomes, even though it's not the Super Bowl and where it counts the most, but if you can go ahead and start making people think that if the 49ers and the Chiefs give us another Super Bowl rematch, that maybe it's a possibility that Brock Purdy can really beat Patrick Mahomes this time. So this is why I say it's a test for Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has been pretty solid this year, even though his guys has been banged up. He's got 9 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, and his QBR is a 70.3, and he's thrown over 1,600 yards. But really right now, I feel like the San Francisco 49ers are really depleted is on that defensive side. That defensive side hasn't really been looking the same. And a lot of people at first was trying to say Kyle Shanahan and stuff like that, but we already know that Kyle Shanahan is really a mastermind in coming up with offensive schemes and stuff like that. You just got to have the bodies to do it. You know what I mean? So, but I really just feel like this defense have really took a step back now. I know they lost some key players due to free agency and injury this year, but I think that the only way that the San Francisco 49ers will go back to being dominant in the NFC is that defense had to turn around. That defense can't just keep giving up points per game as they are, because right now they are giving up about 22 points a game. And the 49ers only average 27 points a game. So you really just can't keep coming down to these one possessions type deal. I just really feel like that if the 49ers defense can really just step it up a notch and bring it down to maybe in the teens, probably about 19 and a half points, I really just think that the 49ers can go back to that dominant ways on the defensive side. But as of right now, man, I think that's their problem. They're giving up 103 first downs, and a lot of it is passing. They gave up 64 passing first downs. So I just think that that's their problem. They kind of just need to get that secondary intact for real. And then the quarterback pressures is not really all that. They have 16. Well, no, that's not bad. They got 16 sacks this year, and they got they got 13 sacks. I'm sorry. They got 13 sacks, and they only got 4 interceptions. So they really just not really getting a lot of pressure on these quarterbacks. And I think that that's where their defense really needs to start putting up a little bit more. So that's what I'm talking. That's another game that you need to look out for. They play at 4:25 on Fox. So if your team is not playing, or if that's your team, go ahead, tune into that game. Like I said, I feel like that's going to be a good game. Right now, they got the 49ers. No. They got the Chiefs favored in this game, and it's saying it's going to be about 46 and a half total points. And they got the Chiefs. They got San Francisco with 2. So San Francisco might can go ahead and win this game. So that's what I'm saying. Brock Purdy can win this game. It's a strong possibility that that now we can put him in some type of other quarterback conversations. You feel me? So that's another game to make sure y'all tune in on Fox 4:25. Now, talked about football. No, you know what? I need to give y'all my Week 7 picks real quick. My Week 7 picks for this week. Last week, I was the man. I went 13-1 last week, letting them know that I can go ahead and be. Y'all need to go ahead and follow my predictions if you're trying to win some money. You feel me? So this week, I'm already starting off on a good foot at 1-0 with the Broncos. So I got and this week, the Broncos versus Saints, I chose the Broncos. The Patriots versus the Jaguars. I had to really scratch my head and go on a limb on this one. So, but I went over here and chose the Jaguars because they are playing in London, and Jaguars normally do well when they play in London. When it comes to the Titans and the Bills, I think, yes, I went with the Bills. I really feel like the Bills will win this game. Now they got to addition of Amari Cooper. If Amari Cooper play this week, that's a big, huge step for the Bills, because the Bills really need a number 1 wide receiver threat, and I really feel like Amari Cooper is that guy since they got rid of Stephon Diggs. The next game I like is the Texans and the Packers, and I like I chose the Texans. I know my man Kurt probably gonna be like, man, what the hell? But this is not the time I'm gonna say go Pack go. I like the Texans on that because the Texans is really a hot team, real decent team, and they can really get after the quarterback. And I think that's where the Packers really lack in is protecting Jordan Love. So I really just see that can happen. The Eagles and the Giants. Now, after I talked about Nick Sirianni, man, I really feel like the Eagles can beat the Giants. The Giants is not that good. We seen what they put out on last week, and their product wasn't all that. And Daniel Jones is just trash. I'm not gonna say Daniel Jones is trash. I just feel like that team that he has out there in front of him is trash. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles on that one. On that top team, the Lions versus the Vikings, I'm going with the Lions. Because like I said, I really feel like that the Lions will knock the Vikings down to their high horse. And I just really feel like the Lions are the dominant team in that division. When it comes to the Seahawks and the Falcons, I went with the Falcons. I really just feel like that Kirk Cousins and that team really found their rhythm. And now that I think that since is week 7 of this of the season, he's comfortable. He's comfortable being in the pocket. He's comfortable with people flying around him. And I just think that the Seahawks are still trying to figure out their identity with their new head coach and Mike Macdonald. The next game is the Browns and the Bengals. I'm going to go ahead and choose the Bengals. I just don't think that the Browns got enough, even though Nick Chubb is playing this week. Shout out to Nick Chubb for making his way back from that knee injury. But I just think that the Bengals got enough. And I think they got enough to go ahead and beat the Browns, because Deshaun Watson is just not that quarterback right now. I don't know what's going on with him, or is it the system? Could be the system, but Deshaun Watson is not that guy. When it comes to the Dolphins and the Colts, I went with the Colts because I thought Joe Flacco was playing, but I still won't go with the Colts. I still believe AR 15, which is Anthony Richardson, is really a solid quarterback, and I think that the rhythm that the Colts have can keep going. And I feel like at any given point in time that they can put Joe Flacco back in. So I went with the Colts on that. The Commanders and the Panthers, of course, that's a no-brainer. I'm going to go with the Commanders. I feel like the Commanders is just hot. Even though they lost to us last week, I feel like the Commanders can go ahead and get back on track with this Panthers team. The Rams and the Raiders, I went on here with the Rams. Now that Devontae Adams had left the Raiders, we all knew that was coming. I just think that the Rams still have a better team right now. Even though they're still missing a lot of players, and their first year without Aaron Donald, but I still think the Rams got enough to beat the Raiders. The Chiefs and the 49ers is one of my other top games. I feel like the Chiefs will win this game, and I think that they will live their undefeated streak to one more week. I just really like to say I just feel like that the 49ers defense hasn't been who they are, even though they are favorites to win this game. But I need to see if the 49ers can really change this. So I went with the Chiefs on that one. The Jets and the Steelers. Now, they got Devontae Adams, and I feel like Devontae Adams will play this week. And that's not the reason why I went with the Jets. The reason why I went with the Jets is because the Steelers has made a quarterback change and went with Russell Wilson. And we just do not know what type of Russell Wilson we are going to get. And I just don't really trust Russell Wilson right now. And I don't know why they will pull Justin Fields off, because Justin Fields was doing a decent being a starting quarterback. And this guy had 10 touchdowns and 1 interception. So I just really feel like that this quarterback change was unnecessary. But, I feel like the Jets will win this game still because of the key addition of Devontae Adams, because I feel like he will play this week. Then we got my Ravens and the Buccaneers on Monday night, one of the Monday night games. I really feel like the Ravens will win this game because, number one, Lamar Jackson is 21-1 when it comes to NFC teams. I just think that our running style is going to dominate that Buccaneers defense, man. I really feel like the Buccaneers will have a long day and a hard day trying to stop this running game, man, because you got to go with King Henry, then you got you got King Henry, then you got Lamar Jackson, and then you got these guys that's leading the league in rushing, especially with King Henry with over 700 rushing yards. And you got Lamar Jackson is still in the top 10 when it comes to rushing yards. You feel me? So that's going to be scary, and I think that's going to be too much to handle. Now, I don't fear that this is going to be a blowout or anything in that nature, because Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield got a good connection down there, and with Chris Godwin also. And Baker Mayfield is one of the hottest quarterbacks right now in the league. Even though he's a little bit dicey, he's a gunslinger, but at the same time, Baker Mayfield can still be a scary quarterback. So I'm gonna go ahead and still choose my Ravens to pull this dub out. So, and then the next game, the Chargers and the Cardinals, I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I feel like the Chargers are a real hot, decent team. And I just don't feel like the Cardinals has really got enough to really beat the Chargers right there. So there go my Week 7 picks right there. Broncos, Jaguars, Bills, Texans, Eagles, Lions, Falcons, Bengals, Colts, Commanders, Rams, Chiefs, Jets, Ravens, and Chargers. There you have it on my Week 7 right there, man. So now, I done talked about football, you feel me? And now let's go ahead and switch it over to basketball. Let's go ahead and talk about NBA. Let's go to the NBA, man. And this is a guy right now. It's a guy right now that's out and always been out, and he's supposed to be the top guy of this team. He made the USA team all because of who he was in the past, and then now they pulled him off the USA team because they for his health reasons, and then now he's not even starting the stamp season. He's out indefinitely. And this guy is Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is supposed to be the face of the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers are now opening up their new arena this season. And your face of the league, or your face of the franchise, it's not there. The guy that you spent money, and you didn't want to spend money on Paul George. Now, granted, yes, Paul George is out also with a hyperextended knee, but you chose not to put another star there because you felt like that Kawhi Leonard was going to be your guy. Then you got James Harden, and you got some other good key pieces there also. But as we sitting here, we talking about Kawhi Leonard now, and I'm sitting here and sick and tired of people trying to put Kawhi Leonard in these high standards because of what he did in the past. Yes, he might got 2 chips, but you got to sit and think, man, one of them chips he earned himself. I give him that. But after that, he got a couple defensive player of the year, but the thing about it is he can't stay healthy. This guy should have been, the way we talk about and praise him, he should have been MVP at least once, right? He's never been MVP. You want to know why? Because he can't stay healthy enough to be considered an MVP candidate. And I'm sick and tired of everybody keep putting him up there in this high standards. In my opinion, I think Kawhi Leonard should start contemplating about retirement. Like on some for real shit. You know what I mean? We all talked about how Ben Simmons and Lonzo should have contemplated about retirement, and these guys is about to be rookie busters and all that good stuff. Now, I'm not saying that Kawhi Leonard is a bust, but I'm sitting here just saying that we ain't going to never get the Kawhi Leonard back to the way he was in Toronto. We ain't going to get that. Y'all changed the rule for the load management to make sure that if you're really healthy, you got to play. So he tried to go out here and play. Then we starting to see like maybe Kawhi was really hurt. After all these time, we just thinking that he just bullshitting. Maybe his body is no longer responding and can respond for him to play basketball no more. Because right now, yo dealing with in his career, he has had a lot of injuries. Like a lot. Like 2014, he had a right hand injury. 2014, he had a right eye injury. 2017, he had the right quad injury. 2012, he had the right calf injury. Then he had the ankle injury. Then he got another. He had the another quad injury. Then he got a shoulder strain. Then now we're talking about he got a lot of lower body injuries, knees, ankles, ACL, partly torn ACL. This guy, his body is almost saying that he can't take it no more. And I think that he should retire and walk off the court while he still can. You know what I mean? It's no shame. The way they talk about Kawhi Leonard, yeah, I'm pretty sure he still make the Hall of Fame. But I really just think that Kawhi Leonard just need to go ahead and retire, man. He's we didn't sit here and seen injuries at the injury since 2014. It is now 2024 going into 2025. So I know the Clippers is very high on this guy, and I just think that now I'm pretty sure that after this contract, that's it for him. I don't see another big contract coming from this guy. I just think that it will be a prove-it 1-year deal if he continue to play right now. Like, I'm dead serious, man. I don't really see him being that guy he used to be once upon a time. I just think that Kawhi Leonard just needs to go ahead and retire, dog. Like, real live shit, man. Like I said, I have no bad intentions or ill will against him. Not saying that he sucked during his time, because during his time, as we can, I guess you want to say his prime. During his prime, man, he was taking the lead by storm. One of the best two-way players that we ever seen. But then, you know what I mean? Like I said, it was just the low management and injuries that everybody got sick and tired of seeing. But I really just think that, you know what I mean, while he's still on top as one of the top best 50 players or 25 players, wherever people want to put him at, while he's still on top, I just think that he needs to go ahead and retire, dog. Like, real live shit, man. Like, and that's just it, man. That's just it from Kawhi Leonard. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just go ahead and in this episode in a positive note, because it's girl power, you feel me? I'm gonna end this episode with talking about the WNBA, because the WNBA is still buzzing. It's still going on. It is still giving us the hype. Now, I know a lot of people saying, well, it died down since Caitlin Clark haven't been in the playoffs. Yeah, it might have died down a couple, but they still getting good ratings. They still sell out still selling out arenas, and they still putting on a good product, a great product. Because right now, this WNBA finals has been living up to the hype, you feel me? And this WNBA finals is between the New York Liberty and the Minnesota Lynx, and right now the Liberty are on the cusp of winning their first championship. And I know a lot of people are like, hold on, their first championship. They are one of the first 3 original teams of the WNBA. They ain't win one yet? Nope. This franchise has made the WNBA finals 5 times. And they lost all 5 times. They are 0-5 in the finals, man. And after a 2-year decade gap, they finally back into the WNBA finals. And they like I said, they are 1 game away now. Personally, I didn't go with them to win the WNBA finals, because I really just think that the Minnesota Lynx and what they're doing and what they had established, and the physicality has been balling, putting up the most playoff points in WNBA history. I just really thought that Minnesota Lynx, but no, it's the New York Liberty who really has the better team, really. And you got the Brianna. I'm sorry, I'm getting their names all mixed up. You got Brianna Stewie, who I believe is the second best player in the league. Is averaging probably like, what's she averaging, like close to 30 points a game in the finals. Then you got Sabrina Ionescu, who has been putting daggers daggers into these ladies' heart. She hit a dagger the last game. You know what I mean? And then she said, I'm her. So this WNBA Finals has been living up to its hype. You feel me? So, and I really just think that I really feel like the New York Liberty really deserve to win. Even though, like I said, I chose the Minnesota Lynx, but I want the Minnesota Lynx to go ahead and push this to another game because I will be tuning in tonight. I want them to push this to another game because, like I said, it's been all hype. And let's see who got the edge for tonight. And the New York Liberty has the edge, right? Winning, they 2.5 favorites, and it's saying it's going to be 159.5 points total. I just really think that it's going to come down to the last possession again, like it was last game. And I really just think that if it comes down to the New York Liberty having the last possession, man, I think that the Minnesota Lynx might go ahead and have to kiss their dream season goodbye. But even if they do lose, I feel like the Minnesota Lynx should be proud of what they've done and what they accomplished. And if they can keep everybody together, you know, I know it might lose a couple player or two in this expansion draft that this new team is coming along next year. But if they can find a way to keep the main key players together, man, I can see the Lynx being back into the finals. I really do. So make sure y'all tune in tonight on ESPN 8 o'clock, the WNBA finals. Let's see, can the New York Liberty close the door tonight in Game 4? Can they close the? I can't wait the next year in the new playoff format. They are now changing that format. They will no longer be under this old format. So I cannot wait to that because, like I said, I really just feel like that. I'm hoping that the Lynx can push this to another game, man. So there you have it, man. Minnesota Lynx, New York Liberty. I wish y'all both teams the best tonight. May the best women win. So I want to greatly appreciate everybody for tuning into this episode, man. Like I said, I hope I give y'all a really dope episode. I gave y'all the recap of the Thursday night game. I gave y'all Nick Sirianni as my head coach who is on the hot seat. I gave y'all my top 2 games, my week 7 picks. We talked about NBA and Kawhi Leonard. We talked about the WNBA, man. So I really hope I can give y'all a good variety. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I can't wait till the next episode. It's going to be a dope episode. I'm trying to line up this interview with this flag football team, man. So hopefully that I can get things together on this. Cause like I said, man, it's going to be a real dope. Somebody YO said they subscribed 100. I greatly appreciate you, man. I really do. So yeah, man. Just make sure y'all go out here, tell a friend who can be a friend that MTMO Sports Podcast is one of the dope podcasts that you need to tap in so you can get your daily sports, man. And like I said, make sure y'all subscribe to all my social media platforms. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and try to get y'all that right here, right now. At the bottom right there is my social media platforms where you can catch all my content at. Make sure, like I said, y'all hit the like, subscribe, share button right here, and make sure y'all when y'all hit that subscribe button, you will get all notifications of all my content that I drop, whether it's shorts, clips, a full episode, whatever I drop. You feel me? Just make sure y'all hit that subscribe button so you can get that notification. You feel me? Like I said, follow me on all my social media platforms right here, Instagram and TikTok, MTMO_sports podcast, X known as Twitter, and Facebook is my THTS, my opinion. So make sure y'all go out here and follow my all the social media platforms. Shout out to everybody, you feel me, for who tuned in. Shout out to everybody that I normally give out the shout outs. Shout out to everybody that's in my MTMO prediction season, man. Right now is really fun, really dope. Once again, it's a female that's leading the race again. We had a male leading the race, but he fell off. What happened, Kenny? But no, it's been nothing but dope, good times in there, man. So make sure y'all next year when MTMO prediction season come out, man, y'all hop on, man. Cause like I said, it's a real dope, man. season. There's nothing but picking your teams, talk a little trash, and all that good stuff. So, like I said, I greatly appreciate everybody for tuning in this episode, man. Just make sure y'all go out here and tell a friend who can be a friend, who want to be a friend. The MTMO is one of the dope podcasts out here. And y'all know I'll catch y'all next Friday. Long as I should be here. I should be back next Friday, you feel me? So I can give y'all this great content, man. And as always, big trust. Why trust anybody else? Let's go Ravens. Oh, I got another comment. Okay. Hey, make sure you tell all your partners, man. I appreciate you, man. Hey, you know what? Just for you, yo, we're going to talk about NBA. The next NBA session, man, is going to be talk about your pals, you feel me? So make sure you tune in. Yo, and I'm out.